Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. It is a tribe called Dhillon podcast. I'm Angie Dhillon.
And I'm Rose Dhillon.
And I'm Alvin Dhillon.
Hope you had a great week. If I can ask you for a quick favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are new to our channel or if you've just been checking us out. I'm going to do the shameless plug. And I have to say, every time I ask and I say that and I hear other YouTubers asking that, I'm like, oh my God, it is such a shameless plug. But I'm going to say thank you so much. It seems to be working because guess what? Our digital family is growing, and that's because of you. So on behalf of the three of us, we just want to say thank you so much. What a surreal journey it's been so far, but you are helping to keep our momentum going by subscribing, sharing our stuff, and liking it, because then we show up every week and we get to bring on really cool guests, and that's all because of your support. So I just want to say a special shout out and say thank you for your ongoing support. We're going to grow together and do some really cool things together. So with that said, we're going to get into our win of the week segment, and I know for those of you that are looking at us right now, you're like, what's going on? Like, are these hockey jerseys, like football jerseys? Well, we decided in honor of the World Cup, T20 World Cup cricket, that we're going to attempt, and here's the word, we're going to attempt to discuss cricket, because we have been receiving so many DMs for the last 18 months, people asking us, first of all, hello, are you Indians? And yes, we are fellow Indians. We live in North America, not in India. And can you please talk or tell us if you know anything about cricket? So special shout out to all of you that have been DMing us. We are now going to make our attempt today to talk about cricket and what we know, or what we lack of what we know, with the hopes that if you're listening to us and if you are a huge cricket fan based out of India, we would love for you to reach out to us and explain this game so that we can share it and that we can learn a little bit more and share it with our audience. So that's my plug. We're going to get into our win of the week segment. Over to you, Rose.
Well said, Ange. That's great. Yes. Mine is a win slash, it starts with a loss and then it becomes a win. So last Sunday, I had come to visit my parents and I was driving home and I reversed the car off the driveway and all of a sudden the car stops. And I'm like putting my foot on the gas pedal and it's not doing anything, but the lights are on, everything else, nothing is like flashing, nothing is being weird. I'm like, what? And I go into reverse, nothing is moving. So I run to the front door and I get Al and he comes out and he's like, this is weird. And then luckily the neighbor's son-in-law is a mechanic. And so he came over too and he's like, yeah, this is really strange. I've never seen this before. So we called a tow truck, took it to the first mechanic, and he said, oh, this is actually an ongoing issue with Honda. This particular model is that something with the CVT belt that affects the transmission. And again, I might be saying this wrong, but that's what I've been told. And so he said, you got to take this to Honda. So we call Honda and they said, okay, what's the closest Honda to you? And we're like, it's Surrey Honda. Okay, we'll take it to them. So we take it to Surrey Honda and they diagnosed it. Yeah, your transmission's gone. Now, this car I bought brand spanking new in 2019. It's got like 38,000 miles. I'm like, excuse me? Like, this has got to be under warranty because this is an ongoing issue. And he said, yeah, it probably is, but we don't have anything to do with America Honda. So you need to take your car back to America Honda. I'm like, otherwise, we're going to charge you $16,000 to fix your car. What? So I called Honda once again and they said, yep, all right, take it back. So then I had to find a tow truck. A towing company, that would tow my car from Canada to America. And that was not an easy journey. Both Al and I were at it for the week. We finally found one person who said, yeah, I do this. I've done this. I can take your car. You have to come with us. I'm like, okay, I'll come with my own car. So Mom and I drove.
Follow the tow truck.
Yeah, follow the tow truck to the. So first, I had to go to Surrey Honda because nobody there works there. There's 20 people walking around, but no one answers their phone. So I had to go there in person to pay the bill and have them release my car. The towing man was there, got the car up.
I like how you call him towing man.
Yeah, I don't know this stuff. Then we get to the border and he tells me to follow him. There's a whole different path for, I guess, commercial vehicles that I knew nothing about. It's a whole different behind the way you go. So I pull up and he's like, why are you here? I said, that's my car he's towing. He's like, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be anywhere, for the love of God. So I explained to him what's happening. I said, well, the gentleman had me tow. He's like, all you had to do was write him a letter and have your passport attached, an image of it, and you didn't need to be here. I was like, I took a day off work for all of this. Okay, thank you. So then we get inside to secondary inspection, and the towing gentleman doesn't have some special American pass to take him to America.
Oh, no.
And then he brought his girlfriend, who she's not also supposed to be in the commercial lane. And I was like, for the love of God. And so I'm so lucky that the agent that was there was like, tell me what happened. And I explained everything to him. I guess he had some empathy for me. And he's like, I'm going to let you guys go. Not only this one time, better make sure you have your paperwork for next time. And then we drove it to the Bellingham Honda, explained the thing. Kevin, shout out to Kevin from Bellingham Honda. Awesome guy, was like, no, we're going to look into this. I will call you first thing tomorrow when I get some information, and we'll let you know what's going to, how to proceed from here. And I was stressed out all week because I'm like, I don't need a $16,000 bill right now. This car is new. Like, I mean, if my car was 10 years old, 100,000 miles, I don't have much to go on. I got to pay this, but I bought this intentionally new so that I didn't have to deal with this. He called me on Friday and he said, yep, we're going to be covering the entire transmission fix. Your transmission is gone. We're going to replace it. And I'll have a car ready for you next week. So shout out to Kevin from Bellingham Honda, because he was awesome. He sent me a text message too, and he said to me, which I really, really appreciated. He said, yeah, I wanted to call you as soon as possible because I'm sure this has been weighing on you. And I'm sure that you're probably feeling some level of anxiety, and I wanted to help you. And I thought, that's customer service. That's customer service.
Shout out to Kevin
Shout out to
Bellingham
Kevin.
Honda.
Bellingham Honda, yeah.
I like how the agent, the border agent said, I'm only going to let you go this one time. Like, how many times do you think we're going to come back with the car, first of all?
Well, that guy, he said to the towing guy, because apparently he does this every month where he goes 2 or 3 times. But he said the same thing to me. He's very kind. He's very sweet from India. He's like, I don't understand America. Every time they change the rules. I'm like, yeah,
that's very true.
You have a good point there. Yeah.
And you said something, my car is not 10 years old and it doesn't have over 100,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Newsflash, my car is 10 years old and has over 100,000 kilometers. In fact, it has 175,000 kilometers, my
really?
Jeep, and my transmission has not gone. But do you talk to your car? Because I give positive affirmations to my car.
You know what? I never did, but when I saw her driving on the towing company, I said sorry to her. I was like, I feel so bad for you. I just let you down. You're all by yourself. You're dead. You're not dead. I'm bringing you back to life. Just give me a few more days. I actually felt a little sad when I saw it being pulled up and going. I didn't have much of an attachment to it because I didn't until I saw her just helpless and had to be carried across. And then all the drama and all of the ins and outs to just get her repaired.
Oh, your car's sick,
My poor
right?
Basanti. Yeah.
Yeah, she's sick, but we're going to get her all well.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great to hear that, Rose. And anytime there's car problems, I can tell you, I don't know what it is. I like to think I can fix things and like nothing phases me. But anytime I get like my engine light comes on, I'm like, for the love of God, like I just don't like getting, like my boyfriend involved. I don't like getting Al involved because I know nothing good ever comes out when there's car issues.
Right.
And that's the time, ladies, if you don't have a man in your life or if you don't have a brother, you're like, I just wish there was someone here on like Team Karen to help me with
Seriously,
my car.
I'm so grateful for my dad and my brother because Al took a lot of the reign, calling them, figuring things out. So he helped me a lot. But yeah, I think about it like we women don't know a whole heck of a lot on cars. And for me, I'm not somebody who wants to learn about it either, so it doesn't help the situation. But yeah, that's the time where I'm just like, this is so stressful. Car stuff stresses me out.
Yeah. Okay, Al, what about your win?
Well, my win is definitely not as intense as that one. That doesn't sound like a win. That sounds like a lost way it started.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it ended in it being covered.
Yeah.
I was telling her, I was like, we're not going to pay for this. I was like, there was a reason why we bought a Honda.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows Honda's transmissions do not go even at 100,000 kilometers. They go to like 200,000. I have seen cars 300,000. So when that went, I was like, we're not going to be paying for this shit. It's going to be covered because, but it was just, I was surprised at the runaround that when we called Honda and then Honda Serene, how they kept saying, no, we're completely two different people. We're separate companies. We have no access to their system. We have no visibility of any recalls. And they were kind of tricky in the sense when you looked on the USA website, you put Rose's VIN in, there was actually no recall listed for it. So it looks like they were doing on a case-by-case basis. Yeah. So it must have been like a small batch of parts that got issued that caused this problem for them not to issue an entire nationwide recall. But they did issue one that there was up to like 7 years, 150,000 kilometers to fix that issue. But I was very disappointed in their customer service.
Me too.
Very poor.
Very
and
disappointed.
when you go on their website, though, they say, though, if you bought the extended warranty oh, then there's no problem anywhere in North America.
Right.
And they'll take care of it and they'll transfer it and they'll transport it wherever it needs to go, as long as you had bought the extended warranty. And when I asked her about it, and she was like, yeah, that's a separate thing that we have, but unfortunately you don't have that warranty, so nothing really applies to you. But I was asking them, I was like, if you offer this service from a warranty perspective, how much would it be to pay for this service for you to transport the car? And they had no answers for me. So I was just very disappointed.
I'm going to say the customer service industry is dying. It really is. And that's where I'm grateful for people like Kevin that work at Bellingham Honda that are really understanding that customer service is everything. Because if it wasn't for him, I'll be honest with you, I probably will never buy a Honda again. Like I was so turned off by the way even head office Honda gave me wrong information. Like
every single one of them was pointing fingers to somebody else and like didn't have any accurate information. But the fact that it was in Canada, which this probably happens quite often to people because I'm sure there's so many other cars that they're breaking down.
Right.
But the fact that they will, unless you bought their maximum coverage, they won't do nothing about helping you get that car over back to America.
Yeah.
So it was. Well, aside from that, my win was that we are finally entering summer season, my favorite season, and weather is getting better.
Yes.
And I'm feeling naturally, without me having to do anything and me not go to the gym, my mood and everything is just feeling better. Just feels nicer. Yesterday was a nice warm day. And when it's days like that, I like to call them the no pants kind of day. Because you don't have to wear pants on those days.
But were you wearing something?
I was wearing shorts. I was wearing very short shorts, bicycle shorts, borderline inappropriate.
Well, that's the reason I'm asking is because you live with the roommates. So I didn't think you were walking around buck naked.
I was wearing my Daisy Dukes.
Oh boy. Okay. I have a really great win. Those of you that know, I only watch sporting events when it really matters, like when there's the Super Bowl, when there's the Stanley Cup finals. It's the only time, or when Wimbledon's on. I won't watch it all year round. So I actually I have gotten into the Edmonton and the Panthers series right now, Florida Panthers.
Game 7.
Yeah, so Game 7 is going to happen on Monday. So by the time this episode airs, the game's going to be finished. But we live in Vancouver. And of course, our team is the Vancouver Canucks. But I did not know the stat because I kept seeing this commercial play. And then I went and did a little bit of homework. Did you know that it's been 30 years since Canada has, any Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup?
Wow.
The last team was in 1993, I believe. And it's shout out to my aunt because she's a big Montreal Canadiens fan. That was the last time a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. And listen, for me, I think, of course, I would have loved to see the Vancouver Canucks go all the way. But listen, anytime there's a Canadian team and it's one of your country's team, American team, you best believe that rivalry is full throttle.
Yeah.
And part of appreciating sports is good sportsmanship.
Yes.
So I appreciate, listen, Canucks didn't make it, but Edmonton was a better team, and it's a Canadian team. We have to naturally root for them, whether we like them or not. So I'm on Team Edmonton.
Come on, Florida. Let's do it.
No. Terrible. You just became American a couple of years ago.
7 years
traitor.
ago. Thank you very
What
much.
a traitor.
Yes.
But anyhow, I am rooting for Edmonton. And ironically, if you take a look at our jerseys, they actually represent Edmonton color. Edmonton jersey. Edmonton's
it's a
jersey.
2-in-1.
Edmonton's jersey color is blue, and they have a little bit of orange off to the side. So very similar to Team India's jersey.
Interesting.
So here we go. Our stalling is done now. Okay? Our stalling is done. We have to get to talking about cricket or the lack of knowledge that we have for cricket. So here's what I wanted to ask about, either of you. Feel free to jump in. Do you actually know where the origin of cricket comes from?
Yes, because I knew we were going to talk about this, I went and did a little bit of Googling here, and I've learned that it all started in England, and that makes so much sense why India loves, and all the teams that are playing cricket are all under the Commonwealth, they're all the British, so that makes sense. But I'll let you elaborate on it.
Yeah, so I'm going to just say, so I did a little bit of research on this as well, because when I don't know something, I'm intrigued by it. I have tried to watch some cricket games. It's just like, it's similar to baseball. I just find it really boring. I'm sorry. It's boring. It's boring.
I call it the Indian baseball.
Yeah, it's
actually, that all depends. I did have a uncle come visit us a few years back, and he loves cricket. He's from Fiji, and he came to visit. And I remember sitting at my parents' house, and I walked in, and I was like, "Who's that guy?" And he's like, "He's a cricket player." And I was like, he's hot. And so I sat down next to him. I was like, hey, that guy's hot too. He's like, that's Team Afghanistan. I was like, Afghanistan has a cricket team? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, man, this is like a fashion model show. Every single player that came out was hot.
Okay, so the origin of cricket, it can be traced back to actually medieval times in England. So it evolved from various ball games played since ancient times. And during the British Empire's expansion, cricket spread to various colonies and territories. So some of those countries include India, Australia, the West Indies, and South Africa. And yes, Team Afghanistan has a team as well.
Yeah.
So it's a significant sport for these Southeast Asian countries. It's what football and hockey is to us in North America.
Right.
It is religion to them.
Yeah.
So I want to get into, have any of you been watching the T20 World Cup cricket tournament right now?
No, I haven't watched any of it, and I've been trying to get a little, because there's a lot of different series that they have in cricket. That's what confused me. And I asked ChatGPT, can you explain it to me like football? And I was lost. I was like, and that's why I'm glad Angie asked. We do need someone to please come on the show here and educate us, and maybe do it in a simple way where we North Americans can understand the game, because I loosely understand it's a baseball, but there's a lot of like different like names of things of the players they call that I couldn't follow.
Yeah, and I agree. Listen, the reason we started our podcast is to learn out loud, to share information. And when we don't know something, we don't know something, and we're just going to own it. We don't know anything about cricket, but we're more than happy to learn about it so that we can educate our listeners and our audience, and and teach them something new as well. So I'm actually calling out anyone here in India, anyone in any of these countries here that I said, Australia, West Indies, South Africa, any of the countries, Team Afghanistan, if you're listening to our podcast and you do know a little something about cricket and you can help us out, please send us a DM, send us an email, because we would love to have you on the podcast and educate us and tell us what we need to know and just simplify it. So I'm just throwing that out there that we're going to make an attempt. And listen, and we're not trying to make a fool out of ourselves. Maybe we will, but at least we're trying is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's exactly. And listen, India, we're showing you that we do. If we're going to support cricket, was supporting India. So there you go. I might have said Afghanistan has a good looking play, but I am celebrating India.
Yeah. And Team India, these jerseys are very expensive.
Yeah.
We couldn't even find them here. We're lucky and we're fortunate that we live here in Vancouver, Canada, and we have an Indian population. So I think somebody went to India and we were fortunate enough to get these jerseys.
Yep.
So we're representing India.
Yep.
We are here representing Al.
Pretty comfortable though.
They are
really
nice.
comfortable.
They're actually breathable. Like, I can see like dry fit material. It's actually good.
It's very, very nice. Al, have you been watching any of the T20? I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Yeah. T20 World Cup cricket matches?
I have not watched any of the games, but I do recall playing the game every now and then with some friends.
Oh.
Now that I think about it, when we were younger, and there was always somebody with a cricket bat because we grew up in Surrey, which was Little India.
Yep.
So I remember them teaching us some of the game. It was like there's 3 posts, and the pitcher has to try to knock one of the posts down. There's 3 of them on there. I couldn't remember how the runs work, but it's basically it's the guy's job to not let him hit the post and him knock it out as far as he can. And I think if you catch it before it hits the ground, it's an automatic out, like similar
Kind of like baseball. That I heard
similar
too.
to baseball.
Yep.
But I couldn't recall too much of it. But I remember us playing it. But me in general, whenever I've played baseball, it's not the most fun game because it's usually only like 1 or 2 people having action. It's the pitcher, the batter, and then whoever's going to be catching it. So it just got a little bit. It's one of those games where there's a lot of people involved. And there's a lot of people standing around, and then when you stand around, you're not doing too much, and it just gets a little boring. So I'm surprised though that these games last like days,
12 days.
and days.
One of
and
them,
They say it's
yeah.
like the most watched sport like out of all the other sports because there's such a big population. It's almost
Right.
like 2.5 billion people watch this sport.
Yeah, I think I might even have a stat
Wow.
on this here. Let me just see how many people. Oh, here, television viewership here. So cricket enjoys a massive television audience with major events. And for instance, here, the 2019 ICC Cricket World Cup was reported to have a global audience of over 1 billion people.
Yeah.
And I
that's
want
just
to add to
total,
that, too.
there's, like, I think their total viewership, they're saying it's over like 2.5 billion
Holy
with this
moly,
big championship.
wow.
Because you've got, let's say, you've got India, which is 1.5 billion, and then all those other Commonwealth countries that are actually like pretty top ranking watch that too. So if you look up the top cricket players, you'll actually notice for like every 4 or 5 Indian people, there's like a white person in there.
From Australia. Australia is really
there's
big.
England
as I learned.
people, and there's all white people from South Africa.
Yeah.
South Africa is a big player.
Yep.
And now I saw Dubai and like UAE coming up as one of the top contenders. I think other countries are now trying to embrace it and bring it on as another sport, because North America is predominantly hockey, baseball, football, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world doesn't actually watch that much of those sports. They do either soccer, and then they need like another sport for people to kind of maybe like get into. And I think they're trying to bring more awareness to cricket, because
that makes sense.
North America is now starting to form their own leagues, and they actually have some like it's growing, and there's some bigger players coming to North America.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I learned the longest cricket match. The longest cricket match in history was played between England and South Africa in 1939. It lasted for 12 days and ended in a draw because the English team had to catch a boat home. Right?
Wow. Why don't they just finish it? You're
Fresh off the boat
amazing.
and fresh on the boat.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of soccer, Al, you know FIFA's coming to Vancouver next year.
Oh, I'm aware. There's
wow.
the amount of pre-work that's happening.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. But you know, this is the beauty. I just realized right now, I just had my aha moment. Like, you know much more about cricket than we do.
Yeah,
and
now
I
that I think about it.
this is the beauty. We live in a world that we live in such a big world, but yet it's still small in so many aspects. But look at us here. We live in North America, and we don't even tackle into what our fellow friends in the Asian countries are doing and what's important to them.
Right. And I love what Al said, which is they're trying to grow that and make it more. And what I did like about cricket is think it's not as intense as football and hockey. And I think the level of concussions or things that can happen are so much more safer. So much that I like that. I like that we're going to promote more sports that are will cause you less harm when you retire.
Yeah, like a cleaner safe sport.
So that part I really did like about that. Yeah.
But guess what? As of taping today, I do have some breaking news to share.
Yes,
now.
please do.
Okay, so Team India. So these games start at really early in the morning. So right now with the T20 World Cup Series, the final match is scheduled for Saturday, June 29th, I believe. That's going to be the final game.
Okay.
And as of right now, Team India beat Bangladesh by 50 runs and advances to play Australia on Monday.
Yeah, look at you killing it with that knowledge.
I guess we're saying bye Bangladesh.
No, but I'm sorry, Bangladesh. They have a great team, but Team India is very strong. I haven't been watching any of the games, but I am following their stats. They're doing really well, and I don't know between India and Australia. They're both very strong teams. But you know what? My loyalty and our loyalty has to be to India.
Yeah.
So Team India, we're wishing you all the best in the T20 World Cup cricket match. We hope you can bring another cup home. And guess what? I have some stats here for India. Let me see here. Team India. Okay, so Team India, their team achievements here. So they were the ICC Cricket World Cup winners in 1983 and 2011. And they were the ICC T20 World Cup winners in 2007. And they were the ICC champions winners in 2002 and 2013. So India can do it. They got some. Team India has Virat Kohli playing.
That's Anushka Sharma's husband. Woo! Yeah, that's the only reason I know that.
Yeah. And
for our viewers, Anushka Sharma is a very famous Bollywood actress who married Virat Kohli, who was a famous cricket player. Yeah. And that's how I got introduced
And Anushka Sharma is a brilliant actress, too.
Brilliant actress.
Brilliant actress. Yeah. I love her. They're like this power couple in
They
India.
really are. They really are.
Yeah. The other thing here is, do you guys know, and the only... So if someone was to ever ask me, do you know, name a popular or famous cricket player, and the only name that Sachin Tendulkar. That's the only name that comes to me, because you know why? He is widely regarded as one of the greatest batsmen in the history of cricket. Wow. Yeah, and you know what? So he hails the world. Here we go. The world's most prolific batsman of all times. He is the all-time highest run score in both the ODI and Test cricket, with more than 18,000 runs and 15,000 runs respectively. And Sachin Tendulkar, he holds the record for receiving the most Player of the Match awards in international cricket. He's a G.
Yeah.
He's in his 50s now. That's all I know. And I think he serves on several boards.
You can come on our podcast, Sachin, anytime. Educate us. We'll happily have you on.
Yeah, he's married, Rose.
I said happens on a podcast.
Oh, I thought you said he happily have you on our podcast.
Happily
Look
have
at you, Rose,
him
trying to flirt through the
No!
airwaves.
I thought she was saying, invite him to the podcast.
Invite him to educate us, because if he's the number one player,
Yes.
he can help give us some knowledge here. Share some
My
of that.
bad. I thought Rose was like here. I'm like, he's happily married. But listen, we can dream. There are some other single players on Team India, Rose, their cricket team.
That's great. Thanks, Ange. I actually have one more piece of information that I want to share that I've discovered that I think would be really, really interesting. Are you guys ready for it?
Yep.
Women's cricket.
Whoa.
The first women's cricket match was played in 1745.
Wow.
The first Women's World Cup was held in 1973, sorry. 2 years before the men's version, and was won by England.
So, but is there a female
I don't
cricket
know
team
that.
right
I saw
now?
that and I was like, wait, women were doing cricket too. I'm of course not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into here. So right now, what do you think Team India, the country, is feeling right now? Their team is doing outstanding in the World Cup. What does this do for a country when your team is at an international level and performing so well?
I feel proud.
Yeah, I feel
Excited, but there's probably it's almost like how Vancouver is when the Canucks start getting close to the the playoffs. You just excitement in the city, and everyone has something to look forward to. They're always talking about it. So I bet you people are going crazy over there.
Yeah,
at the bars and the temples.
And if you say, and if you see online, they always often refer cricket to being a religion in India. It's very much devoted fans. People look at it that way. So yeah, I can only imagine. I love that Al said that they're probably at the temple and the bar showing their excitement.
Yeah. No, I think it creates nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
You'll always remember where you were, if your country wins, because I still remember, I believe it was in 2014, and it was the Sochi Olympics when the Canadian women's team won the game in overtime. I still remember that game. It's still till this date when I go back and watch the playbacks on YouTube, it creates such excitement and such pride for your country. That's what makes me really excited, because listen, let's get real. For the longest time when Team Canada would go to the Olympics, I was like, man, I don't know how we're going to place, because USA always seems to top and rank every sport. So I can imagine for India, this is a big deal. Their team is so good at something. You want to see their team excel and do well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about here, how does cricket unite people across different regions and backgrounds in India? Because there's so many different nationalities in India.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. I think that's what it is. If we look at cricket as a religion, then everybody's welcome and everybody can participate, and it doesn't really matter what language you speak or what your other ethnicities is. This is the universal religion for everybody. So I think if you're white, black, pink, blue, purple, whatever, that love of that sport unites people. And I think that's what's really beautiful. And one of the reasons why I did really want us to talk about this is because the more I'm learning about sports, the more I'm realizing it's really uniting people together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just bringing
and we
people
need
together.
to unite people. We're in a place right now where people are dividing. No more division. Find a way to unite. You'll find something that you'll unite with on.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for Bangladesh though, because after they lost, they were probably like, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't even have your jerseys, because they're the textile capital of the world. They probably made their jerseys, and we're like, we're gonna take these jerseys back with us.
Give me your jersey, right?
Yeah.
Give me your jersey.
Stitch it up real cheap next time so it rips on them in the middle of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's do a final question here, and what we feel. For a World Cup, obviously cricket is gaining popularity and notoriety worldwide. What does it do for international audiences? Because now we're on the bag and now talking about cricket.
Yeah.
Raises awareness.
It definitely
to
does.
say that, hey, look, Indians play sports too. Not as intensely, but we do play sports. And it just puts India on the world stage to be like, oh, look, we're also champions of the game that the white people created, and we are now the champions of that game.
Yeah.
So I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we want to make any bold predictions? So the final match is Saturday, June 29th. On Monday, which is this coming Monday, as we're taping, today is a Saturday, Team India and Team Australia are going to be playing. We are, of course, going to be leaning towards India, but any predictions? Do you think India can take it all the way?
They could.
Yeah.
They've done it multiple times.
They've done it before, yeah, multiple
I think
times.
they can.
They have a strong team
And by
this
default,
year.
we have to support them.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I have to say that I hope they win.
I want to go online right now while I have
who are they
everybody. We don't know. They have to beat Australia first, then they'll advance. But
So then how do you know that they're going to play Bangladesh?
they played Bangladesh this morning.
They lost.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
I want to just type in around now Team India cricket team prediction. So let's see. Like, what are they ranking this team here?
What are the people saying?
Let's see. What's the buzz here? So it's something to do with Super 8. I don't know what that means here. Fantasy prediction. So Virat Kohli has a great record against Australia and will be itching to go and pile on a big score. We want to send you love and light, Team India. This episode's going to air, but we're sending our positive energy and our positive vibes over to you. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this show, and also during the middle segment, if you are a Team India cricket supporter and you are a fan of cricket in general in any other country and know a little something and you can teach us a little something, please DM us and reach out and educate us and our audience so we can know a little bit more about this amazing sport. So go Team India.
Go Team India.
Go Team India.
And we should, my hair is covering my jersey. So go Team India.
Go Team India.
Go Team India and bye-bye Bangladesh.
And so with that said, A Tribe Called Dhillon podcast is signing off. The crew is going to be back next week. Please take care of yourself. Don't forget to check us out on all of our social channels. We want to thank you once again. Our family is growing and we are super excited and we can't wait to see all the cool things that we do together. Until next week, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
See ya.